Okay, welcome back to our political science class. And today's topic is the importance of the word peace. Okay, so far we discussed about the problem that can be created by a war or a violence in the society. Violence in the society. So, violence or war, it is destructive. It is a destructive. So, the word peace is too important for us today. Okay, we want to maintain peace in the society. So if peace is there in the society, it is useful for the people, those living in the society, to enjoy liberty, enjoy equality, and enjoy justice. Okay, so in the last class we discussed about the structural violence. Okay, structural violence. So we know that not only a war, there are a number of other problems also we are able to locate in the society that is able to create problem for the word peace in any society. What are they? Okay, in this paragraph we observe that the second step in defining peace would be see it is as an absence of violent conflict of all kinds. Okay, violent conflicts of all kinds are able to make trouble for the word peace in the society or peace in the society. Okay, what are they? War, all right, a massacre, an assassination, okay, or a simple physical attack. This kind of violent activities are able to create trouble for peace. Okay, so this definition is clearly better than the earlier one. Earlier one, we know that peace is a situation where there is no war, right? But here, not only war, number of other types of violences are there, like a riot, massacre, assassination, or a simple physical attack. Okay, so that kind of things also existing in the society means it is against the word peace. Okay, violence is often rooted in the very structure of the society. So we are able to find the elements of violence in almost all the spheres in the society, or almost all the aspects in the society, right? Social institutions and practices that reinforce and enhance inequalities of caste, class, and gender. So everywhere we are able to find a distinction between the people, differences between the people, class differentiation, gender differentiation, okay, caste based inequalities we are able to find. So this kind of things sometimes will lead to violence in the society. Okay, basically termed as structural violences. So now we are moving to discuss about what do you mean by these structural violences and what are the different forms of structural violences. Okay, so in one society, in its structure, there are chances are there for violences. Maybe patriarchal society, indiscrimination, caste-based troubles or religious-based troubles, all will sometimes lead to violences in the same society. Okay, so the traditional, coming to Indian context, the traditional caste system treated certain groups of people as asparsha or untouchable. Okay, sparsha means touch. Okay, so asparsha means untouchable. Okay, till it was outlawed by the constitution of independent India. Okay, but this caste-based untouchability that was eliminated or deleted by the Indian constitution through rules and regulations in the constitution. The practice of untouchability subjected them to social exclusion and deprivation of the worst order. So this caste-based discrimination created a lot of trouble for the people, basically coming from the lower sections of the society. Okay, basically earlier times used as untouchables. Okay, and their life became a misery. They led a misery life in the society. The country is still struggling to erase the scars and relics of this ugly custom. Our country today trying to delete the scars, the problems of the caste-based untouchability, even today also. Okay, while a social order based on class appears to be more flexible, it to generate a great deal of inequality and oppression. So, caste-based or sectoral distinction or differentiation we are able to find in Indian society today. Our government and the constitution is trying to eliminate such kind of problems. In the developing countries, a majority of laboring classes are confined in the informal sector where the wages and conditions of work are a sizable underclass exists even in the developed countries. Okay, so India we faced a structural violence on the basis of caste, but developed countries also facing the same issue, but not related with the caste, but the class discrimination on the basis of financial stability. Okay, class means the working class people and the rich, the haves and have-nots. They are the two classes. Okay, so here we can see in almost all the developed countries also they are, or in that countries we are able to find a huge number of people. Okay, basically they are poor people. They are poor people and facing a lot of different types of oppression from the rich class, rich people. Okay, so we are able to find that the clashes. Okay, history told us, or history taught us, what is that? The Russian Revolution on the basis of this class struggle, the fight between, okay, the haves and have-nots, the fight between the bourgeoisie and the proletarians, okay, the fight between the rich and the poor. So chances are there for violences related with discrimination on the basis of caste or on the basis of economical stability. Okay, next situation. So we discussed about the caste system and the class system that will lead to what social problem, violences. Okay, next condition is patriarchy. So patriarchy is another condition that also will lead to violences in the society. So patriarchy, so write down here, we discuss about two conditions. One is caste based discrimination, other is class discrimination. Okay, both are able to create a problem in the society, violences in the society. Okay, so that two are the part of the structural violence. Again, many other points also are there related with the structural violence. That is the third point here. So third point here, patriarchy. What do you mean by the name patriarchy? Male dominated society is termed as patriarchy. What is that? Male dominated society is termed as patriarchy. Male domination. Okay, so that male-dominated society will give least respect to women. That's a major trouble here. So patriarchy entitles a form of social organization that result in the systematic subordination of and discrimination against women. Underline that. Patriarchy entitles a form of social organization that results in the systematic subordination, making women under the control of men, okay, and discrimination against women. It's basically termed as patriarchy, male-dominated or male-oriented societies. Okay. So its manifestation, okay, the patriarchy's manifestation includes selective abortion of female fetuses, okay, abortion of female fetuses, denial of adequate nourishment and education to the girl child, okay, denial, not providing adequate food, proper nourishment and education to the girl child, So it's a problem. Okay, gender-based discrimination may be, or it is also able to lead or able to create a violence in the society. Child marriage. Okay, you know that what is child marriage. Wife battering. Okay, domestic violences, dowry-related crimes. Okay, crimes that relate with the dowry, you know that what is dowry, right? Yes or no? So number of news we are able to read from the newspaper related with the dowry related deaths there. Even yesterday we read one news there, right? Okay, on the Christmas day, one news related with the dowry related issue. It's a crime, a murder. Okay, next one, sexual harassment at the workplace, rape and honor killing. That is related with intercaste marriage. The higher caste will kill the lower caste bride or bridegroom, like that. Honor killing. In Malayalam we will say durabhimana kola, like that. Honor killing. Okay, recently you read one news in the newspaper related with the same issue, honor killing. Next one, low child sex ratio. So these are the problem that related with a patriarchal society. How a patriarchal society will create violences in the society. Next one, the low child sex ratio, 0 to 6 years. 919 females per 1,000 males. Okay, birth rates of female kids are less compared to the males. I mean, child to sex ratio is 919 females per 1,000 males, less it is. In India, as per the 2011 census, is a pregnant index to the ravages of patriarchy. So these problems are showing. Okay, patriarchy is able to create violences in the society. Violences in the society. Okay, clear? So we discussed about caste-based violences. It's a part of the structural violence. Class-based violence is a part of the structural violence. Patriarchy or patriarchal society will create a problem in the society, that also part of the structural violence. Next one, colonialism. Colonialism, that also able to create a problem in or violences in any society. Okay, so we know studied already what is colonialism. Can anyone tell me what is colonialism? What is colonialism? Come on. Cool. What is colonialism? Tell me, Amaldas, what is that?
The one country ruling over other.
Definitely. So basically here, the rich countries or powerful countries dominate over the power of the less powerful countries, basically. Okay. So that kind of activity is basically termed as colonialism. Basically, European countries, they use this technique to control over or utilizing the resources of the less powerful countries in African continent and Asian continent. Basically the Indian subcontinent. Okay. Next one, colonialism in the sense of prolonged and direct subjugation of a people to alien rule is now a rare phenomenon. Underline that. So this is the answer for the question. What do you mean by the term colonialism? Colonialism. Explaining, colonialism is the sense of prolonged, okay, that existed for a long period of time, prolonged and a direct subjugation, direct rule, or the foreign countries will directly control the colonies. Okay, of a people to alien rule. Alien rule means nothing but the foreign rule. Foreign rule. That's what alien rule. Don't think that extraterrestrials. Okay. Not extraterrestrial, but foreign rule. That's what the alien rule. Okay, is now a rare phenomenon. Today we are unable to find colonialism or colonization. Clear? Because the modern society, almost all the societies are against this activity. Okay, but the ongoing Palestinian struggle against Israeli domination. So there is a struggle or a trouble is there still existing in Middle East between Palestine and Israel. Palestine and Israel. Okay, the trouble between the Jews and the Muslims. Jews and the Muslims. All right, Israel and Palestine. There are there's a places there basically termed as Jerusalem. Okay, clear or not? Jerusalem is a holy city of three major religions. Do you know what are those religions? What are those religions? Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Okay, so Israel always trying to control that area. Okay, basically Palestine. Okay, so that creating a trouble in the society there. Continuous wars are there. Clear? So this kind of colonialism, one country is trying to dominate over the other country, that also is able to create a problem in the society. Okay, bloodshed in the society. Okay, so just to keep these ideas in your mind. So these are the part of the structural violences. Write a question there. Explain structural violence with examples. So if you're writing the answer, all these points should be there. Okay, class-based, caste-based, patriarchal based, or a colonialism. That aspect should be there in that answer. Okay, next one. Last point what we discussed, here. But the ongoing Palestine struggle against Israeli domination shows that it has not disappeared completely. Still, we are able to find the bad effects of colonialism. We said the former colonies of European imperialist countries are yet to recover completely from the forms of manifold exploitation they suffered during the colonial era. So, 19th and 20th century, we studied already in the history textbooks. What is that? Number of Asian and African countries, once it was under the control of European powers. Still, these countries are trying to develop, okay, trying to escape from the problem that created by the colonial rulers, the foreign rulers. Even our country also facing the same problem, right? But our country, we can say that it is recovered, almost recovered, right? Okay, nearly 190 years we were under the clutches of the British government, and now we are trying to recover. Okay, next we are thinking about, or we are going to read some important words or comments that made by philosophers. Okay, first of all by Gautam Buddha, third, second one Mahatma Gandhi, fourth one Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, so you can see Gautam Buddha, as per his attitude or his mindset, we can read here, all wrongdoing arises because of mind. Buddha says, all wrongdoings, all bad things what you are committing is because of your mind. Okay, if mind is transformed, can wrongdoing remain? Okay, so Buddha asking, if mind is transformed, your bad mind that transformed to a good one, again bad thing will remain in the society? It will remain or not? Never, right? So that's what the Buddha's idea. He asking, he telling that all wrongdoing arises because of mind. If mind is transformed, can wrongdoing remain? Never. Okay. Next one, Mahatma Gandhi. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary, the evil it does is permanent. Okay, if you are using some violent method or violence to achieve a good result, okay, clear or not, might you will receive, or you can do the good things, but the good things what you received will stay for a short period of time, but the evil things or the bad things you committed to achieve that good thing will remain in the remainder. It will not cannot be deleted, that, or it will be permanent. Okay, that's what the idea of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, next one by Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, we know that he is the supporter of war but not peace. Supporter of war but not peace. Okay, Friedrich Nietzsche. Yes shall be those whose eyes ever seek for an enemy. Yes shall love peace as a means of new wars, and the short peace more than the long. I advise not to work but victory. Let your work be a fight, let your peace be a victory. So as per him, peace is nothing but you have to search for war. Okay, clear or not, to establish peace. So peace for him, it is a war and victory. War and victory. That's what Friedrich Nietzsche say. Okay, so these are the idea of three philosophers here. One is Gautam Buddha, Mahatma Gandhi, and Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, so two people, the Gautam Buddha and Mahatma Gandhi, they are the proponents of peace. They are supporting the idea of peace. At the same time, Friedrich Nietzsche, he is against the attitude or the word peace, and for him, the violence is the best way to create peace, it seems. Okay, so just keep that idea in your mind. By three philosophers. Next, we are moving to the next part of the structural violence. Structural violence. So far, we discussed class-related violence, okay, caste-related violence. The next one, patriarchal one, male-dominated society, and how it will create problem in the society. Next, we discussed about colonialism, and here it is. Fifth point, racism and communalism. Okay, that also we are able to find in the society. It can create trouble or violence. Okay, so that also involved in the stigmatization and oppression of an entire racial group or a community. Okay, so the racism and communism that also can involve to create great problems and oppression. Okay, clear or not, or dividing the society. It can be divided the society or on the basis of a racial group or a community. Okay, a racial group or a community. So racism and communalism also can divide people on the basis of race and community. Race and community. So we are able to find there are a number of religions are there in our country, right? Okay, each religions are considering as a commune or a community, right? Clear? They are different than the other, If any spark is there related with the religion, it will lead to communal violences in the society. We already observed a lot of such kind of communal violences in India. Basically, the Hindu-Muslim clashes in our country. Okay, so far, racial discrimination not created that much trouble in the country called India, but in Europe, called a place called Germany, that country witnessed the problem related with race. Okay, the trouble between the Jewish people and the Aryans. Okay, so Hitler representing the Aryan entity, and he killed millions of Jewish people. Okay, a particular race in Germany. Though the notion that humanity can be divided into distinct races is scientifically spurious, it has been used to justify insidious practices such as Negro slavery in the United States of America. Now we are discussing about that racial discrimination. So science proved that different races are there in the country. In the world, there are a number of different races are there. Okay, related with their physique. Okay, their intelligence, their color, we are able to divide different races. Okay, as a result of that, we are able to read a particular problem that witnessed by United States of America. That's called to be the Negro slavery. Okay, that's until 1865. The slaughter of Jews, Hitler's Germany. Okay, so Negro problem and the problem of the Jews. Okay, that all we read or learned related with the racial discrimination and the racial problems. Okay, and apartheid. Okay, color-based discrimination. Okay, that also we observed in South Africa, which treated the majority black people of the country as second-class citizens. So, as for apartheid, we know that it's a color discrimination or racial discrimination on the basis of color. Okay, cannot say that it's a color discrimination, but a racial discrimination on the basis of color. As we studied earlier, we can say that the black people, they considered as second-class citizens in South Africa. So racial discrimination still continues covertly in the West, and now often directed against immigrants from countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Communalism may be seen as the South Asian counterpart of racism, where the victims tend to be minority religious groups. And still today, we are able to find the problems of the racial discrimination. Okay, basically, the Europeans or the Aryan race, they are showing this kind of discrimination toward the people from Asia and Africa. Communalism. Okay, the really major religions will treat the minor religions are inferior, or the major religion will try to dominate over the minority religion. So that also part of communalism. So that also existing the part of the structural violence. Okay. The psychological and tangible harm suffered by the victims of violence often creates grievances that persist over generations. Okay, so the problem that facing by the minority class or helpless people, okay, will remain not only for that generation, but it will pass from one generation to another generation. Okay, the problem that what we face today, we will pass that into our next generation. So the problem that faced by the people, basically the discriminated people, okay, they will pass their problems to the next generation also. Sometimes they may give rise to the fresh bouts of conflict when provoked by some incident or even remark. So such kind of people, the people those who faced lots of problem from the majority, okay, sometimes they will not able to hold this patience. Okay, they will start violences, they will react badly, all it will lead to problems in any society. Okay, so we have examples of long-term grievances being harbored by communities against each other in South Asia. So in the South Asia, there are a number of different religions are there. Almost all the major religions are started from that same place. Clear or not? So always we are able to find this kind of communal violences there. Okay, coming to Christianity, we know that there are subsects are there, subsects, different groups are there. Coming to Islamism, again subsects are there, groups are there, Sunni, Shia, schools like that. Okay, Christianity, Protestant, Christians, Armenians, like that, differentiations are there. Okay, so in the Middle East or South Asian countries, we are able to find the problem between these religions and the subsects in the same religion, such as those stemming from the violence unleashed during the partition of British India in 1947. So, in India also we have observed this problem after the partition of India and Pakistan in the year 1947. Communal violence in India, riots in India. Okay, trouble between the Hindus and Muslims in our country. We witnessed that. Okay, so we can see a just and lasting peace can be attained only by articulating and removing the latent grievances and causes of conflict through process of dialogue. So how can we create a peaceful society? We want to solve these complaints, these grievances by discussions and debates, dialogues. Hence, the ongoing attempts to resolve problems between India and Pakistan also include promoting increased contact among people in all walks of life. Okay, so every day we are able to read a number of news between the conflicts or frontier troubles between India and Pakistan. So the textbook creators giving a suggestion that what is that? Okay, constant dialogues or discussion with the Pakistan or a relation between the people, okay, improving the relation between the people can solve the problem between India and Pakistan, it seems. Okay, so far we discussed about a particular situation called structural violences. So in any society we are able to find lots of different social groups. Clear or not? So the violences are already existing in the variations of or even in the each and every structure of the society. It is existing there, or each and every steps it is existing there. Right? Clear? So on the basis of class, on the basis of caste, on the basis of what we can say, a religion, basis of colonialism, patriarchal society, okay, racism, communism, okay, sorry, not communism, but communalism, all are able to create a problem in the society. The people, those who face trouble because of these issues, sometimes they will react badly and it will create problems or violences in that particular society. Okay, so just understand structural violence, it's an important portion for us and we want to learn it properly. Structural violence. Okay, and how can we solve this issue? It can be solved only through attending the grievances. Okay, and eliminating the problem only through discussions, dialogues. Okay, discussions, right? It's here. Clear. Our next topic, it is eliminating violences. Eliminating. What do you mean by the term eliminating? Deleting, wiping away. Okay, so the Constitution of United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization rightly observe. So United Nations, we know that. Okay, basically here it is UNESCO. Okay, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. That's what UNESCO. Okay, under the control of United Nations Organization. So United Nations Organization observes. So its observation related with eliminating violence. Violence. How can we wipe away or delete the problem of violence from any society? Okay. Here, since wars begin in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed. Okay, so what the observer, how the UNESCO observed war and peace? Basically, all the wars are starting from the minds of men, right? Right or not? Almost all the war, what we witnessed, what we observed, what we studied about, okay, all such kind of problems are basically starting from the minds of men. So the solution, what is the solution? The attitude, what is that? Attitude to create peace. That also start from the minds of men, it seems. So we are able to solve the problem of violences. We are able to create a situation called peace in any society. Okay, so several age-old spiritual principles and practices. Okay, like compassion, meditation, okay, all are basically creating a tendency to become, to lead a peaceful life. Okay, are geared precisely to the facilitation of such an endeavor. Modern healing techniques and therapies like psychoanalysis can perform a similar function. So, a good mind, as you already read, what is that? All the wars are starting from the minds of people. So if you're treating the minds of people properly, okay, clear or not? If you're treating the minds of people properly with the values, with the virtues, okay, like compassion, meditation, okay, or basically using the modern healing techniques, okay, healing the minds of the people by using therapies like psychoanalysis can cure the minds, and it is able to create a peaceful society. So peaceful minds are there in the society, definitely we are able to create a peaceful society. Clear? So wars are destructive. Okay, all the wars are destructive, and today we are learning how to create peace in the society. That's what eliminating violence here basically. However, we have noted that violence does not originate merely within the individual psyche. Okay, it is also rooted in certain social structures. Okay, violence not originated merely within one individual's mindset. Okay, violence is not merely emerge or start from one individual's mindset. It is also rooted in the certain social structure. So the threats of violence is located in the social structure, it seems, in the society, it seems. Okay, the elimination of structural violence. So first of all, we already studied about the problem of the structural violence, and we know that chances of violence are existing everywhere in the society. So we want to eliminate that first. Okay, that problems first. The elimination of structural violence necessitates the creation of just and democratic society. Peace, understood as a harmonious coexistence of contented people, would be a product of such society. So, the people, they are thinking against this caste-based discrimination. If they think against the class-based discrimination, they think against a male-dominated society, they are against colonialism. So we can say that people, they like a peaceful society. So we are able to create it. Okay, it can never be achieved once and for all. Peace is not an end state, but a process involving an active pursuit of moral and material resources needed to establish human welfare in the broadest sense of them. So peace is not just the situation where there is no war existing, but it is a situation, it can create a situation of coexistence of all the people in the society. Everyone is able to lead a peaceful life in the society. Everyone is enjoying liberty. Everyone is enjoying equality, and under a just government, a just society is existing there. Right? So that's what the importance of peace here. Clear or not? The ideas are clear or not? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? These ideas are clear or not? So two things we studied here. What is that? Two topics we discussed. One is the structural violence. Many things are there under that. Structural violence. Okay. And next topic we discussed about what can we do to remove these violences or eliminate the violences from the society. The first thing, it is nothing but we want to eliminate the problem of structural violences, right or not? Caste-based, class-based, male-dominated society, colonialism, racism, communalism, such kind of things we want to wipe away from the society. So we are able to create a peaceful society, peaceful society. Okay, so I'm stopping for now, and we will continue in the next class. And today itself, next no. 3 o'clock, right? I think so. So next one, can violence ever promote peace? So before that class, okay, I will discuss in that class, no problem. Okay, everyone, thank you very much. Winding up.